Now on Coast TV News.
Fire and Ice Freeze, despite this weekend's Big Chill One Winter event, says that it's ready for the elements.
A dangerously cold weekend on the way for Delmarva. Strong winds over 50 miles per hour, wind chills below zero, single-digit actual temperatures Sunday morning. A real risk for frostbite. Details coming up.
Plus, Arctic air alert.
I think this is the longest stretch I've ever saw here in Delaware.
How this weekend's weather could continue scheduling challenges for the Cape May Lewis Ferry.
And Olympic Winter Games start. We are just hours away from the opening ceremonies. We get you ready for the 2026 Olympic Winter Games.
This is Coast TV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Today is Friday, February 6th, 2026.
Usually a good mood on a Friday, but
Yes.
Grace, get ready to get colder.
I know that's like your least favorite thing. That's not your
I'm
love
conflicted.
language this
I love my
Valentine's
Fridays.
time.
Hate the cold. What do you do?
I guess you know what? You're at a pretty neutral base, but I know it's going to brighten your day.
Yes, what?
It's going to be First Alert Meteorologist Bob Trihey's beautiful shining face and telling us it may get colder, but at least we get to chat with Bob.
Yeah,
right?
we get to see Bob today. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. And boy, this cold air all winter long has been relentless, and another blast as we go into the weekend. It's a cold start out the door on this Friday. 19 in Georgetown and Millsboro, 20 in Delmar and Gumboro, with 28 in Lewis right now. Thankfully, the winds aren't bad yet. That gets bad into the weekend, but right now it's pretty much calm. So it feels like temperatures in the teens and low 20s. We have some mid to high level clouds, but good travel weather all across the region today for work and school. And we are seeing some snow showers across the Great Lakes. Those will be moving in later this evening as we watch a double barrel Arctic front, the leading edge of brutally cold air that builds in as we go into the weekend. Futurecast this morning has us in the 20s and then low to mid 30s, I think, as we go into the afternoon, as we cloud up the skies, maybe a few snow showers as we go into this evening ahead of that bitterly cold air. You can see on temperatures and wind chills, they're not too bad as we go through the day with mid 30s for highs, but then it gets really bad. Dangerous cold into the weekend with a risk for frostbite. I'll have much more on that dangerous weekend forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour is the cold weather we are all experiencing this morning, and it's weather that is expected to stay and maybe get colder over the weekend.
We have Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber out in those elements. Elisa, you're in Bethany Beach, where an event that's taking place this weekend was previously canceled due to weather.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. It is definitely cold outside right now. I think it's noticeably a little bit colder than yesterday morning. As Bob mentioned, winds this weekend up to 55 miles per hour, feeling like below zero. So that wind and that cold, it's just going to stick with us through the weekend. But as you mentioned, Grace, I am here in Bethany Beach. This is one of the locations for the Fire and Ice Festival. That festival is beginning today. It was previously canceled due to poor weather. On your screen right now is a look at last year's festival. You can see all of those incredible ice sculptures. Well, events will begin today at 11 a.m., but that iconic ice sculpture tour that's going to take place on Saturday from 4 to 9 p.m. at Salted Vines. Organizers of the festival say almost 70,000 pounds of ice will be carved at this year's festival. And despite those cold temperatures, organizers say the festival is set to go on this weekend. Just make sure you bundle up if you're looking to attend. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. And we are also tracking the situation with the Cape May Lewis Ferry. Just earlier this week, the ice on the Delaware Bay canceled several of the ferry's scheduled crossings. As we heard from Bob, Arctic conditions are expected to continue and hit us this weekend. On top of that, there are wind gusts that are projected to exceed 50 miles per hour. All of this is on the heels of a stretch of winter that we experienced where temperatures did not get above the freezing mark for 7 consecutive days.
It's kind of unusual here. I know we have some times when it's, in the 20s and maybe at night wind chills at zero years past, but I think this is the longest stretch I've ever saw here in Delaware.
And as of this morning, the Cape May Lewis Ferry is reporting all Friday's crossings to schedule and occur.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We're talking the winter weather. We want to know, how prepared was your town for these storms? Let's take a look at the updated results.
Yeah, we got some changes every half hour. So far, most people, 40% still voting for basic readiness. That's followed quickly by fully equipped, and some people voting moderately prepared, followed last by minimal planning. If you'd like to vote, there's still time to do so. You can head to our website, coasttv.com, or you could also vote on our mobile app.
And we're getting details about 6 waterfowl hunters who were rescued from an icy Nanticoke River on Saturday.
Maryland DNR says a lot of coordination went into the rescue. Let's take you through what we know.
Yeah, this is what we know. Natural Resources Police say the hunters' boat became disabled Saturday night on the Nanticoke, stuck on thick ice. With temperatures in the teens and strong winds, local fire crews couldn't reach them because boat ramps were frozen. That's when a DNR helicopter was rerouted to help. From the air, crews spotted the boat and lit it up with a spotlight. But hoisting the hunters up, that was not going to work because it was too windy. DNR called in an airboat that can glide over ice. The airboat made 2 trips, eventually bringing all 6 hunters safely to shore. No serious injuries were reported. The Olympic flame is now in Milan. The Olympic torch began the 60th day of its journey on Thursday in the suburb of Milan as thousands of people lined the route to see it. Torchbearers included astronaut Luca Parmitano, who was the first Italian to command the International Space Station. It's due to visit the Olympic venues in the city before today's opening ceremony. And organizers, they're not sharing much about today's opening ceremony. They do promise a star-studded night with performances across northern Italy that will showcase the country's history, culture, and style. NBC's Jay Gray is in Milan with a closer look at the opening ceremony and a preview of what Team USA will be wearing as they walk onto the stage.
For months, they've practiced inside this giant tent. And over the last 2 weeks, for 9 hours or more every day, 1,200 volunteer performers from 27 countries who will take center stage during tonight's opening ceremony.
So to actually get to be on the field is such a crazy feeling. So yeah, I'm definitely a little bit nervous, but I'm also very excited. And we all have been working super hard, so I think it'll all work together.
Working together with a cast of superstars, including Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli and pop legend Mariah Carey. The theme of the ceremony, harmony, with a nod, organizers say, to Italian excellence, creativity, and of course, fashion. What they won't say, looking to keep the show a surprise, is what we'll see, leaving even locals wondering.
I have no expectation, but I'm pretty sure this will be fantastic.
USA! USA! We do now know bobsledder, U.S. Army Sergeant, and Italian-American Frank Del Duca,
EJ got nominated as a female flag bearer,
along with speed skater Aaron Jackson, were given the honor by their fellow Olympians of carrying the flag and leading Team USA during tonight's opening ceremony. Jay Gray, NBC News, Milan.
We're about to begin a 2-week stretch of Winter Olympic coverage. You can watch it here, February 6th to the 22nd on Coast TV. And due to the Winter Olympics from February 9th through the 20th, you can catch Jeopardy on our sister station, Fox 21, at its regular time, 7:30. Same show, same time, just a different channel while the games are on. U.S. military says it carried out another counter-narcotics operation this week targeting an alleged drug smuggling vessel in the Pacific. Watch this right there. You saw that ship blow up. According to the U.S. Southern Command, the strike killed 2 people. The military says the vessel was linked to a designated terrorist organization and was traveling along known narco-trafficking routes. This is the 38th vessel targeted in the past 5 months as part of an ongoing crackdown across the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. New this morning, Lewis officials are looking for ways to carve into the current year budget deficit of approximately $1.3 million. We obtained a copy of the fiscal year 2027 draft budget, and actually going through it, we found some recommendations that will be put forward to Mayor Amy Marasco and the City Council today. They're expected to consider that at their 9 a.m. meeting. One of them is deferring the Railroad Monroe Street capital project. That will save $590,000. Reducing to $3 million the police department budget. We got more details on that in a moment. Increasing city and town parking meters to $2.50 an hour and beach to $3 an hour. And if these recommendations are enacted, City officials say it will save over $1.5 million.
And here are some specifics about the proposed reduction to the police request. Overall, it's just over $55,000. Current staffing is at 17, and the budget calls for 18 officers. The department is asking for 2 additional police cars, but that's currently 2 more than the number of officers in Lewis. The Budget Committee recommends allowing Police Chief Thomas Spell to determine the priority of need for the current budget year. And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News today.
Now, coming up, we have our cool things to do with a look at food, festivals, and fun happening this weekend.
Also, stars shine San Francisco. Ahead of the Super Bowl, the NFL highlights its achievers from 2025.
Still ahead, rescue readiness rehearsal, the training exercise scheduled for Saturday in Milford. And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey is in the Weather Center. He's working on that high wind warning and dangerous cold weather that's on the way. We check in with Bob next.
It is 6:13 on this cold Friday morning. FH Furcam in Cambridge, 19 degrees for you, 16 in Red, 19 in Laurel and Georgetown, 20 in Gumboro. Cold start, a little breezy at the coast. It feels like temperatures, teens and 20s, pretty much like the actual temperature as we have some mid-level clouds building in. I think we'll be mostly cloudy today. There are snow showers to our north and west. Those will be moving in tonight out ahead of this Arctic blast that brings dangerously cold air as we go into the weekend. Low to mid 30s, coast, inland, eastern shore today, and then those snow showers tonight ahead of that dangerously cold air. More on that and your weekend forecast, and then heading into next week as well. I'll let you know how it's shaping up coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Bob. And a heads up, if you're in the Abbott Mills Pond area in Milford tomorrow morning, ice rescue training is scheduled to take place. The city's Carlisle Fire Company is coordinating with neighboring responders and conducting the exercise. Carlisle officials say this is to ensure a quick and efficient performance in a high-risk situation. The training is scheduled for 9 a.m.
Georgetown Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating this truck that we are showing you on your screen. It was involved in a hit-and-run crash on Sunday, January 22nd at 9:30 a.m., and police say the truck hit a building while exiting the circle onto North Bedford Street, and anyone with information is asked to contact Georgetown Police.
Google's parent company, Alphabet, said Wednesday it plans to double its AI spending this year. It plans to spend up to $185 billion in 2026 as it builds artificial intelligence data centers in the U.S. It spent more than $90 million in 2025 on such AI projects, and the higher projected spending comes as Alphabet's annual revenue passed that $400 billion mark for the first time last year.
All right, Valentine's Day is coming up, so if you can only afford McDonald's for that day, the Golden Arches has a way to soften the blow. Add some caviar. Yeah, that's right. Mickey D's is offering a kit that contains an ounce of caviar. It's meant to pair with those chicken McNuggets. And the best part, it is free in this kit. Starting next Tuesday at 11 a.m., you can order yours at McNuggetCaviar.com. It's not clear how many kits are available, but that price, can bet it's not too many. What better way to say I love you, Bob, than with a gift of nuggets and caviar?
I don't know, man. I think I'm going to stick with my double cheese value meal at McDonald's. We're looking at Debbie Mills. Congratulations to her from Berlin on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. We're on a serious note. We're looking at dangerous cold conditions this weekend. The risk of frostbite is very possible with sub-zero temperatures and howling winds. I'll have your full forecast coming up after the break.
Time is 6:18 on this Friday morning, and boy, we got a cold one going on there. We got Cambridge in our view. That's a live shot there near the banks of the Choptank River. Icy water all over Delmarva, Bob, and it's probably warmer today than tomorrow.
Today is going to feel wonderful, Matt, compared to what we have coming in this weekend. Another blast of dangerously cold air. Here's our storyline and our tunnel and razor cam right now showing a tranquil scene. It's going to be cold today and mostly cloudy. I think we could see some snow showers tonight as that Arctic air moves in. Temperatures today in the 30s, and then for the weekend, windy, bitterly cold, and Arctic front that blasts through tonight. You'll be hearing that wind howling tomorrow morning all weekend long. Dangerous wind chills and winds gusting gusting in excess of 50 miles per hour by tomorrow afternoon. Right now, it's cold, 19 in Delmarva, 18 in Millsboro, 16 in Redden, Salisbury 19 for you, 25 in Ocean City. Winds aren't too bad on the light side, so it feels like temperatures pretty much close to the actual temperature. We have some mid to high level clouds building in, but relatively dry conditions as we go through your morning hours. Now, what we're seeing is we're watching one area of low pressure moving offshore, and then we're watching that Arctic front building into the upper plains. There is an area of snow showers with this front, and this will be dropping to the southeast, and I think we'll see those snow showers tonight, maybe giving us a coating of snow, and then we'll see these fronts move through with a blast of the coldest air we've seen all season long into the weekend. High wind warning on Saturday for all of our area, Delaware, Eastern Shore, and points south too for those wind gusts over 50, and an extreme cold warning for all of Delaware, Eastern Shore, and points south too, where wind chill values could be in the teens below zero as we go into tomorrow morning. Actually, Sunday morning. Tomorrow morning, it feels like 1 above, 12 below Sunday morning, 4 below on Monday morning, and then conditions improve after that. So know the signs of hypothermia, because we could be looking at that and the possibility of frostbite if you don't bundle up. So these are the symptoms to be aware of as we go into the weekend. And Futurecast this morning has us in the 20s. We're clouding up this afternoon with temperatures in the mid 30s. Maybe some of those snow showers as we go through tonight ahead of that Arctic blast, and maybe still some snow showers around 4 a.m. And then those winds just screaming out of the northwest with temperatures in the teens all day. Bitterly cold as we go through the day and into Sunday morning. It's actually it's in the single digits, 5 to 8 above, but with the wind feeling much worse, and then feeling like in teens and low 20s for highs in the afternoon, feeling much colder as we have wind gusts that are in excess of 50 miles per hour Saturday afternoon. At least those winds back off Sunday morning. Feeling like single digits as we go into Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, we're below zero, way below zero Sunday morning, maybe 15 below, and still very cold after that. All right, here's your forecast for today. 35 in Harrington and Milford, and we're looking at 35 in Denton and Federalsburg, with Princess Anne 34, 35 in Pocomoke City. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. I do have the yellow alert for the weekend for those dangerously cold conditions. Lower 20s, the highs, the winds howling, overnight lows in the single digits and lower teens, and then not as bad into next week. So this cold snap is short-lived because we're into the mid-40s by Wednesday and partly cloudy skies.
All right, thank you, Bob. The best of the NFL gathered at the 2026 NFL Honors Awards ceremony Thursday night in San Francisco. The annual event kicking off Super Bowl 60 weekend with the Patriots facing off against the Seahawks. During the ceremony, you see that Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford received the biggest prize of the night, the most valuable player. And then Washington linebacker Bobby Wagner, he is the NFL's Walter Payton Man of the Year for 2025. Wagner was recognized for his charitable work at helping identify signs of a stroke. His mother died of a stroke years ago.
And don't forget, the Super Bowl airs right here on CoastTV Sunday, February 8th. Pregame starts at 1, kickoff at 6:30. After all that, stay tuned for CoastTV News.
And while we have Bob here, and it is Super Bowl weekend, let's talk predictions. Here you go. You can see I'm rolling with Drake May and the New England Patriots. I'm all into that social media stuff with the quarterback and his wife, who are high school sweethearts. Bob might disagree with my assessment on this, but Bob, I don't think this is your evil Empire Patriot team, but you might have a different opinion on that one.
I do. And if the Jets can't be in the Super Bowl, why not have a quarterback that used to be with the Jets? And I'm going with Sam Darnold, and I'm going with the Seahawks to beat my hated Patriots who always beat up on my Jets.
I'm going to go with the same as Bob. I agree with you, not for that reason. I don't really know much about sports, but I do know a lot about animals. And here's a fun fact.
Oh, no.
Seahawks, actually, the women are larger than males. They have a wingspan of about 5 to 6 feet, just about as tall as Bob Trihey right there. And I just think it's going to be fun. I'm also very much into this whole Gatorade guessing game, and I am voting passionately that the Gatorade this year is going to be purple. And I don't know what you guys are voting. What are we thinking?
I was going to go orange, Bob.
I'll go green.
Green for your Jets.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to this on Monday. All right. Still ahead. Soup Drive scores how a food drive initiative in Delaware using a Super Bowl theme.
And don't let the cold keep you inside. I'm not kidding on this one. There are food, festivals, and fun happening all along the coast this weekend. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
The Food Bank of Delaware tackling hunger at its annual Super Bowl. Food Drive returns. That's SOUPER. See what they did there? With the big game this Sunday, the Food Bank of Delaware is encouraging the community to donate canned soup with the goal of collecting 2,026 pounds by the end of the drive. Leaders say the donations directly support the healthy food pantries in Milford and Newark. The food bank says the drive will run through February 16th.
You'll want to bundle up at the beaches today. Assateague and Chincoteague starting out in the low 20s, mid 30s as we go through the day with increasing clouds there. A little farther up the coast, Fenwick Island and Ocean City, you too into the low to mid 30s with clouds this afternoon. On the Bayside, Cambridge, you're looking cloudy into the afternoon. Temperatures around 33 for the high and similar conditions in Crisfield with cloudy skies. I think we're going to see some snow showers tonight ahead of that Arctic blast that brings dangerously cold weather into this upcoming weekend. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
As you just heard, it's going to be a chilly one, but there's plenty of food, fun, and community events to keep you warm along the coast this weekend.
Coast TV's Christina DeRobertis has a look at all the cool things to do.
It was pushed back a week, but now it's finally time for the Bethany Fire and Ice Festival. It's organized by the Bethany Fenwick Area Chamber of Commerce, and the event includes ice sculptures, food trucks, fire pits, and live entertainment. On Saturday, you can stay warm with some hot cocoa from Cape Henlopen High School. The annual Hot Chocolate Fest is back from 10 a.m. to 3, and there's unlimited toppings for just $5. If you're looking for a new furry friend, there are 2 adoption events happening this weekend. All weekend at Brandywine Valley SPCA locations, pick your price adoption fees will be in place. Plus, on Saturday, Humane Animal Partners in Rehoboth is offering $60 adoption fees for adult animals and $60 off puppies and kittens. If the cold weather doesn't scare you, here's how to enjoy the great outdoors this weekend. Saturday at 11 a.m., you can join a Winter Survivors hike that's starting at the Seaside Nature Center in Lewis. Or Saturday at 4 p.m., you can enjoy a guided hike over the Indian River Inlet Bridge. Also, keep an eye out for the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. It's going to be cruising around Sussex County all weekend. If hot dogs are not your style, though, you can try a Southern-style 3-course vegan meal. It's at the Sunny Bay Cafe in Rehoboth, Saturday at 10 a.m. It's all a fundraiser for Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams' Walk for Prostate Cancer. You can find a full breakdown of this list. Just go to CoastTV.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Now on Coast TV News.
A dangerously cold weekend on the way for Delmarva. Strong winds over 50 miles per hour, wind chills below zero, single-digit actual temperatures Sunday morning. A real risk for frostbite. Details coming up.
Fire and ice freeze. Despite this weekend's Big Chill One Winter event, says that it's ready for the elements.
Plus, fierce freeze fallout. First ice, now strong winds. We look at the scheduling challenges for the Cape May Lewis Ferry heading into this weekend.
And county cooperation challenged.
It is very difficult when you have a state government trying to dictate what federal agencies you can work with.
How legislation in the Maryland General Assembly could be at odds with Wicomico County.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Friday, February 6, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Ackerley. Thank you for joining us today.
Time is 6:32. Bob's got a red tie. I have a red tie. You're wearing red, and there's a special reason for that.
It's the American Heart Association's National Wear Red Day in support of cardiovascular health. So we're all being very heart healthy today, right,
Very
Matt?
supportive, yes.
Yes, and we're giving our little hearts to our good friend, First Alert Meteorologist Bob Trahe. Bob, let's see what you got on today. Let's see your nice red tie.
Good morning, Grace and Matt. Yeah, rocking the red tie, obviously for good cause, for heart disease. Got to keep that ticker really healthy. Temperatures out the door, they're cold. 19 in Georgetown, 18 in Millsboro, 18 in Milton. A little milder, so to speak, at the beaches, low to mid 20s. That's where the winds are a little stronger and feels like temperatures are in the mid to upper teens right now, close to 20. So really bundle up as we're looking at some mid to high level clouds, some blue spots here and there as we're we're looking at quiet conditions, good travel weather, but you already see snow showers moving into the Ohio Valley out of the Great Lakes. These will move in out ahead of the biggest blast of cold air we've seen all winter for this upcoming weekend. Futurecast has 20s and then low 30s later this morning, increasing clouds. I think we wind up in the mid 30s this afternoon, then maybe a few snow showers this evening ahead of that Arctic blast. So wind chill's not too bad today with light winds and temperatures in the mid 30s, but boy, does it get dangerous for the weekend. Maybe a risk of frostbite. We'll be feeling like teens below zero by Sunday morning. Much more on this dangerous weekend forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Bob. And our top story this half hour is the cold weather that we're experiencing this morning, and it's expected to stay over the weekend.
Yeah, our Lisa Weber is in Bethany Beach, where an event is taking place this weekend that was previously canceled. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. It is cold outside right now, and this cold weather is just going to follow us into the weekend. As we heard Bob mentioned, we are going to get wind gusts up to 55 miles per hour. And as you mentioned, I am here in Bethany Beach. There's going to be the Fire and Ice Festival taking place here along with a couple of other locations. This festival, it was previously canceled due to weather, but it begins today and will run through the weekend. On your screen right now is what that festival looked like last year. You can see all of those ice sculptures and fun activities. Events begin this morning at 11 a.m., but the iconic ice sculpture tour, that's going to take place on Saturday from 4 to 9 p.m. at Salted Vines. Organizers of the festival say almost 70,000 pounds of ice will be carved at this year's festival. And despite this cold weather we are expected to get this weekend, organizers say that festival is still going to be held. Just make sure you bundle up if you are attending. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa in Bethany. And we are also tracking the situation with the Cape May Lewis ferry. Just earlier this week, the ice on the Delaware Bay canceled several of the ferry's scheduled crossings. As we heard from Bob, Arctic conditions are expected again to hit us this weekend. And on top of that, there are wind gusts that are projected to exceed 50 miles per hour. All of this on the heels of a stretch of winter that we experienced where temperatures did not get above the freezing mark for 7 consecutive days. As of this morning, the Cape May Lewis ferry is reporting all Friday's crossings are scheduled to occur.
New this morning, the town of Bridgeville says they are expecting to hold its first municipal election in 8 years. The deadline to file as a candidate is today, and this is to elect commissioners from districts 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 candidates have filed so far for District 2, and that's why we might see that election. Voters must register by February 25th. Absentee ballots are available at Town Hall, and Bridgeville will hold its municipal election on Saturday, March 7th, at the Bridgeville Public Library.
We are now taking a live look into Tucson, Arizona on this Friday morning as a new timeline has been revealed in the disappearance of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother.
And we're now going into the 6th day of the search for Nancy Guthrie. Investigators don't appear to have any suspects in her apparent abduction. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night.
As Reed Binion shows us, investigators believe she is still alive.
A $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie.
The FBI on Thursday announcing a reward in the case of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, missing since Sunday. Investigators also revealing blood found on Nancy Guthrie's porch was hers.
The blood on the porch, that was one we did. It came back to Nancy.
Authorities also said a front door camera that is missing from the scene detected motion at around 2 a.m. Sunday. That detail part of the timeline of Guthrie's disappearance authorities presented. It showed, among other details, that hours after her family dropped her off at her home Saturday evening, her doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47 a.m. Sunday. There is no doorbell camera video available, but the system's software detected a, quote, person on camera at 2:12 a.m.
Could it have been those other cameras that said person detected?
Sometimes those cameras pick up something and identify it as a person. We don't know how that physically works. What if you get a critter up, walk up to your door?
The timeline shows just minutes later, Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker app lost connection with her phone. Also Thursday, Guthrie's family released another video pleading for her safe return.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We need a way to communicate with you.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Legislation to ban agreements with ICE is being fast-tracked through Annapolis.
This week, the Maryland General Assembly passed 2 identical bills that would ban 287G agreements. The agreements allow local jurisdictions to work with ICE, and typically that collaboration is done through a county jail or detention center. Wycomico County recently entered into a 287G agreement. That partnership could now be in jeopardy. So County Executive Julie Giardio says the county is weighing its options.
There always is a legal avenue to get legal opinions on a couple of things, and we've thought about exploring those options along with the 8 other counties that are involved, with 287G. But it is very difficult when you have a state government trying to dictate what federal agencies you can work with.
And the legislation still has to clear a few hurdles in the General Assembly, including Governor Wes Moore's signature. Got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, where local students can access free SAT and college prep.
Also, losing streak stopped. How Sussex Tech got back into the win column for the first time in 2 months.
Plus, a conservation celebration. The 30-year anniversary of Maryland Coastal Bay's program. What new challenges leaders are facing now. Stay with us for Coast TV News Today.
Just about 6:42 on this very cold Friday morning. Beautiful shot of the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam. 18 in Laurel. Some cloud cover, some blue skies as well. 18 in Millsboro and Gumboro. 23 Bethany Beach, Rehoboth at 22. Winds are light, a little bit more of a breeze at the coast. So it feels like temperatures are down there mid to upper teens, but wait till this weekend. They're going to be way down there. We're looking at mostly clear skies now, and it's going to be a dry day, but then off to the northwest, we see snow showers across the Great Lakes. They move in tonight as that Arctic front begins to blast through. Bus stop forecast for the kids. Make sure they bundle up. 17 off to school, and then heading home 35, mostly cloudy. Call the First Alert weather phone. It's sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Much more on this weekend's dangerous cold coming up in a little bit.
Maryland Coastal Bay's program is celebrating 30 years of conservation. The group works to protect the bays behind Ocean City and Assateague Island. Since 1996, they've worked to improve water quality and restore habitats.
DENREC expanding its paid internship program this summer. The department says up to 20 students and recent grads will be hired. Interns will work in water quality, research, engineering, and marketing. DENREC says jobs pay $18.50 an hour for up to 37.5 hours a week. Applications are now open on the DENREC website.
Lewis Public Library is helping teens get ready for the SAT in college. Free programs will run in February and March. The SAT practice test, that is set for Monday, February 19th at 9 a.m. And the library says students will then get their scores the next week. On February 25th, the library will share college prep tools and study help. SAT boot camp sessions are taking place March 2nd and 9th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Last night in Georgetown, Sussex Tech boys hoops was hungry. The Ravens had lost 13 straight, headed into a test against First State Military Academy, who was still in search of its first win of the season. Something had to give in the land of the Ravens. Maybe the hoop? A big jam from Jason Warrington. 5-0 lead for the Ravens to start. Curtis Kazier on the other end with a triple, bringing the Bulldogs back in it early. But this is where Sussex Tech starts to soar. Alan Weatherspoon finding Kenton James for 2, and then James showing off the range from distance, and it's a 15-point lead in the first for the Ravens. Kamari Hopkins to Caden Scholl, 26-point lead for Sussex Tech. This does not look like a 1-13 team. And the winless team on the other side starting to kick it up as well. They only had 15 points, though, in the second quarter. That was Ben Holt with the 3. And then Kazier, we talked about him earlier, making more triples in the second half, but it's still a 30-point hole. Wayne Watson with a couple of highlights to wrap things up for Sussex Tech, and what ends up being a 70-53 win for Sussex Tech. They've won its first game of the year, and it took them 14 more tries to get its second win. You can catch more highlights on the final score from last night. Have a good one, Delmarva.
And coming up tonight on DSN 5:30, we have live boys basketball as Worcester Prep takes on ESH Mavericks. And then catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch that basketball game on DSN Plus along with these exclusives. At 5, Snow Hill takes on Cambridge, South Dorchester in wrestling. And in girls basketball, it's Newark and Cesar Rodney. 5:30, Easy-Act boys basketball, and Salisbury School visits Delmarva Christian. And at 6, Dominican University of New York takes on Maryland Eastern Shore in men's college volleyball.
Movie and music news now. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
We can work together to inspire people everywhere.
A big honor for Bill Nye. The Emmy-winning science guy will receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 4th Annual Children's and Family Emmy Awards. He'll be honored at a ceremony in New York on March 1st.
That's the sound of a woman. Speaks her mind when she's told she shouldn't. Says she can when they said she couldn't.
New music from Rita Wilson. Sound of a Woman, which she co-wrote, is the performer's latest single and the title track of Wilson's next album, due out May 1st.
You can time travel?
Time Hoppers, The Silk Road sends 4 gifted kids back to the golden age of Islam to meet Muslim thinkers who changed the world. Its producers call it the first Muslim animated film to get a nationwide U.S. theatrical release. Time Hoppers, The Silk Road opens Saturday. Locations and showtimes at fathomentertainment.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're seeing an iced-in marina on the Cambridge Cam, and we are looking at very cold conditions into the weekend. Dangerously cold with sub-zero wind chills, temperatures in the single digits. Watch for frostbite and hypothermia, a real danger into the weekend. Your forecast coming up after the break.
Time's now 6:49 a.m. as we're taking a live look outside. Bob, it's cold everywhere.
It is. Yeah, wait till this weekend, Grace, because it gets a lot colder, dangerous cold as we go into the weekend. It's here we go again. Weekend polar blast as we're going to see the coldest air mass of the season move into Delmarva. High temperatures in the low 20s, sub-zero wind chills and winds howling beginning early tomorrow morning. Right now, not too bad. The winds aren't bad. It's cold, though. 18 in Millsboro and Gumboro, 19 Salisbury, 22 in Rehoboth. And the winds are light, a little stronger at the coast, so it feels like temperatures pretty close to the actual temperatures. As we have some blue skies, we have some mid to high level clouds as well, so not a bad day. We are looking at snow showers, however, moving into western PA and the Great Lakes. This is ahead of that double barrel Arctic front that's moving through the northern plains. This is the leading edge to the coldest air of the season so far. The good news is it sticks around for a couple of days and then it's out of here. High wind warning as we go into Saturday for all of the area. We're talking about winds in excess of 50 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. You see that high wind warning for the eastern shore and point south with an extreme cold warning as we go into Sunday. We're talking about dangerous cold for all of our region into Sunday. Sunday morning, some places could be as cold as 15 below with the wind. That's why we have a risk of frostbite. This particular graphic says 12 below with a higher risk of frostbite, 4 below on Monday. So you don't want to fool around with this and know the signs of hypothermia: confusion, shivering, difficulty speaking, also sleepiness, and as well as stiff muscles. So things to keep in mind. Make sure you cover the extremities as well to prevent frostbite. As we're looking at conditions clouding up today with temperatures in the mid-30s, some snow showers tonight ahead of that Arctic front, and then those winds begin to really scream tomorrow morning. We go from the 20s into the teens in the morning hours, and that's where we are in the afternoon with those really howling winds. And then into Sunday morning, actual temperatures in the single digits above zero, about 5 to 9 above, and then still brutally cold into the afternoon with winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. So make sure those outdoor items are secured into Saturday, and then those winds backing off on Sunday. But feels like temperatures Saturday morning in the single digits above zero. By the evening, we are about 5 to 8 below zero, and by Sunday morning, some places as cold as 15 below, just brutally cold as we go into Sunday. And Monday morning still feeling like sub-zero, so very, very cold. 37 in Laurel today, 36 in Millsboro, winds light, 36 in Vienna, and then across Maryland, we're looking at 38 in Ocean City, Pocomoke City, 35. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. I do have a yellow alert this weekend for that extreme cold, lower 20s, overnight lows in the single digits and teens. So bundle up and hunker down and watch the Super Bowl on NBC Sunday evening. And then it warms up next week. We're into the mid-40s by Wednesday and partly cloudy.
Thank you, Bob. And the time is now 6:52 a.m. It is time to check in with our coastal and adoptable angel of the day.
Yeah, our pet this hour is Angel, a sweet little angel, just like her name suggests. She's great with kids, other dogs, and would make a great family companion. If you want to adopt Angel or Snoop from our last hour, head over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
How could you not love her with those little heart ears she's got on? We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva, especially if you adopt Angel or our good friend from our last hour. You can send us photos, tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Scan the QR code at the top to get your friends to us, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
Time's now 6:55 a.m. on this Friday morning. Time for things you need to know before you go. We're tracking the situation with Cape May Lewis Ferry. Just earlier this week, the ice on the Delaware Bay canceled several of the ferry's scheduled crossings. And as we heard from Bob, Arctic conditions are again expected to hit us this weekend. On top of that, wind gusts projected to exceed 50 miles per hour. All this on the heels of a stretch of winter that we had where we experienced temperatures that did not get above the freezing mark for 7 consecutive days. As of this morning, the Cape May Lewis Ferry is reporting all Friday's crossings are scheduled to occur.
Got a heads up if you're in the Abbott's Mill Pond area of Milford tomorrow morning. Ice rescue training scheduled to take place. The city's Carlisle Fire Company is coordinating with neighboring responders in conducting the exercise. Carlisle officials say this is to ensure a quick and efficient performance in a high-risk situation, and the training is scheduled for 9 a.m. And we have one final check with First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey. Bob, I know it's cold. Let's have ourselves a Friday.
Let's have ourselves a Friday. And let's have a great weekend and stay warm. And I have to say, I was shocked by that ferry video where that ferry only had one little avenue of ice-free water. Just incredibly cold out there. And today, wind chill's not bad. We're in the teens, 20s, and then mid-30s, feeling like low 30s this afternoon. And then that big blast of cold into the weekend. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. I do have the yellow alert for the dangerous cold. Lower 20s, howling winds over 50 miles per hour on Saturday. Wind chills below 0 in the afternoon, maybe feeling like 15 below by Sunday morning. So just stay inside, watch the Super Bowl and the Olympics. We have them both on NBC. 22 Sunday, finally warming up into next week. Mid-40s by Wednesday and then 40s into next weekend, where Saturday is Valentine's Day. And right now it looks dry but chilly and a high of 43.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us for CoastTV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for CoastTV News midday at 11.
And don't forget to download our CoastTV News and weather apps. You might need it for your weather temperatures this weekend. Have a great Friday morning, everybody.